Hey everyone, it's Alexander Robinson. Welcome to the channel, and this is my review for The Wild Robot, which is the latest movie from Dreamworks Animation, written and directed by Chris Sanders, the director of Lilo and Stitch, co-director of How to Train Your Dragon, and director of Call of the Wild, which I'm not a fan of. But this movie, it basically follows a robot that crashes on an island and is pretty much adapting to the environment. Her name is Roz. She starts deciphering the animal sounds to where she can communicate with them, and she's tasked with taking care of this young gosling whose parents died in a very tragic way, and she's also assisted by a fox. So with this task, it's essentially this robot going above and beyond her initial programming. Before I continue, if you like this video and you want to see more reviews like this in the future, you can go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and also make sure to hit that bell button to get a notification when a new video comes out. Anyway, let's continue with the review. Do you ever get that feeling when you're at a movie theater, you see a trailer for a movie, and you think, this is going to be something special? Like, there's something inside of me that's telling me this movie's going to be something to look for. That's what I thought when I saw the trailer for The Wild Robot. I have been a big fan of DreamWorks' resurgence, mainly with The Bad Guys and Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. And given that this movie has the same animation style, I was all on board, but it also gave me WALL-E vibes, which is not only my second favorite Pixar movie after Toy Story, but it's in my top 10 of favorite movies overall. And while The Wild Robot isn't necessarily as good as WALL-E, it is really good, and definitely up there with one of DreamWorks' best films. It's pretty much everything that I was hoping this movie would be, and then some. I love how DreamWorks is pretty much embracing different animation styles with their films, so each of them have a different look to them. That's one of the things that I absolutely loved about The Bad Guys, and Puss in Boots did a great job of mixing the look of the Shrek movies with this new art style. The Wild Robot is highly unique, beautiful to look at. There is not a single frame in this movie that isn't a work of art. That's especially the case when it comes to the use of colors. This movie is wildly colorful and makes some artistic decisions near the end of the movie with its color palette. It is just a gorgeous movie to watch, and I can't praise it enough. However, the film's story and its characters also count. This movie has got a really stacked cast, with Lupita Nyong'o voicing the main robot, Roz. Between the way Roz is animated and Lupita Nyong'o's voice performance, this character is so expressive, despite having no mouth, and for the first act of the film, not making any facial expressions with her eyes. It's just a blank stare, and yet you get the personality of this robot. As the movie goes on, the eyes are definitely more expressive than the first act, but again, for a character with no mouth, they get a ton of personality out of her. And the rest of the cast is fantastic as well. Pedro Pascal voices this fox, Fink, that pretty much is best friends with Roz. And in a way, he's DreamWorks' equivalent to Nick Wilde from Zootopia, except there's a lot more tragedy with Fink, and as the movie goes along, you get to see his dynamic with the other animals, and just how everyone views each other in this island. Catherine O'Hara voices this mother possum, who is really funny as well. Mark Hamill voices a giant bear, who I didn't even recognize it was Mark Hamill's performance, because he's listed in the trailers, but I was like, who's Mark Hamill voicing? And then at the credits of the movie, when they showed his credit, I'm like, oh, he was the bear. I didn't even recognize him. Kit Connor voices the grown-up version of the gosling that Roz basically mothers, named Brightbill, and I really love the relationship between these two characters because they are essentially outcasts, Fink the fox included, but they also stick together, and near the end of the movie, when a lot of these other characters who have either been afraid or make fun of these three have to depend on them, that is really a strong message that, yeah, don't make fun of the weirdos out there, because they could probably save your life. But yeah, I thought the surrogate mother and son dynamic between these two was really strong. Now, for all those heartfelt moments, one thing about the movie that I absolutely did not expect was how morbid it is but in a humorous way. There are moments in this movie, mainly in the first act, where it plays like a straight-up dark comedy, where death is being looked at as something funny. I won't give the context away, but there is a full-on decapitated head in this movie of an animal, and when that happened, I was like, oh shit. You're gonna have to see the movie for yourself in order to get a glimpse of this decapitated head, because it's something that you have to see to believe, especially in a movie like this. To be honest, I don't really have much in terms of criticisms. The one thing that I thought would bug me, especially after seeing the second trailer, was that the animals were actually going to talk, because the first trailer sold me on the idea that Roz would be the only one talking, and she would basically adapt to the animal's way of life through body language and just being used to how they run and move. And in the second trailer, when it was revealed that the animals are talking, that kind of threw things off, and I went, you know, maybe I'm not as excited for this movie, but they make it work. The animals don't start talking until days after Roz pretty much deciphers their noises and their personalities. So in a way, it makes sense, because we're seeing these animals talk through the eyes of Roz. If there was one slight disappointment I had with this movie, though, it's that it didn't hit me the same way that WALL-E did. And the only reason I'm saying that is because I kind of went into this expecting it to be DreamWorks' version of WALL-E, and while, again, it's not as powerful as WALL-E in my opinion, this is in the running for my top 3 of the year. Between this, Inside Out 2, and Furiosa, it's gonna be close to figure out which of these movies is my actual number 1. So I'm gonna say worth seeing in your lifetime. The only reason I'm not giving it my highest rating is because, unlike WALL-E, there wasn't a moment that made me cry or I felt something hard. But it's still a damn good movie regardless. The animation is gorgeous, the voice acting is fantastic, and it's just a great movie all around. I don't think this one needs a sequel. It ends in a way where there could be one, and the movie has enough unique ideas of this world that I'd like to see more of it explored, but I think this movie is perfect the way it is, and there's no reason for us to continue on. The Wild Robot is a great movie as it is, and you should definitely go check this one out. And there you go, that's my review for The Wild Robot. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you for being subscribed to the channel, and I want to give a special thank you to my YouTube members right over here. If you want to help support the channel even more, you can do so via YouTube memberships for as little as $1.99 a month. Not only do you get early access to all of my videos, but you get access to my top 5 favorite series, which is exclusive to YouTube members, and this month's video is for Inside Out 2. So I hope you consider joining as a YouTube member in the future, and until next time, I want to know what you guys think about The Wild Robot. Whatever your opinions are, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell button to get notifications. If you want to find me elsewhere on the internet, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Letterboxd, Threads, and my theme park and travel channel right here on YouTube. I'll see you guys in the next video, but until then, have a good day and take care of yourselves.